I took the driving license 2 days before I fly to Italy. And the day I land in Italy, 2 hours after they give me the cars, the keys, and they were like, okay, you're ready, you can go home. I understand that was Nikola Grbić, a coach there, and I said, okay, this is the person that can teach you so much about volleyball.
And the fact that you were both Bulgarians was helpful or not?
It was helpful. Okay. The language was helping. Yeah, I'll say like this. He's an incredible person. Incredible. Like I feel him like a big brother, let's say.
Hello, Alex. Big thanks for joining my podcast. It's a great pleasure to host you. Great pleasure to see you, and hope to hear interesting stories from you.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm really happy finally that we can make it.
This is your already second season in Poland, I think.
Yeah, this is my second year.
I know that will be the third because you signed a new contract during this season. How much you learn about Poland and Polish culture since you came to Lublin?
Not a lot, but I learned some stuff about the culture, about a little bit the history lately. Also the food, the cuisine. So I find a lot of similar stuff to home after all the Slavic countries. So it's nice.
And what about language?
The language, we were just joking now on lunch with the teammates. I try slowly to start speaking, but I need more practice.
And growing up in Bulgaria, because when I was doing research, I tried to find the most popular sports. Do you consider volleyball as a popular sport in Bulgaria? I suppose football, like everyone, is top.
Yeah.
But what about other disciplines, and how you will rank volleyball among any other sports?
Yeah, of course, football, like in Poland, I see the same. Football is number one in most of the countries. It's like this, and then I would say volleyball is second. Same like in Poland, of course. Still not so popular like in Poland. Here, maybe in all Europe, all the fans, all the media, everything is supporting and giving so much to volleyball. I hope in the future that Bulgaria can arrive to this level. And I see slowly, last 2-3 years, that because of the national team, the popularity is going up and up. But even since I was junior, I started to follow volleyball 12, 13, 14 years old. So even then, with the national team, it was really popular. It was crazy. I remember my first time going in the big arena in Sofia. Actually, one of the first games I watched on live was with Poland, 2012. And even this is more than 10 years ago, it was probably the second most popular sport.
We grew up almost like the same time. I'm just 2 years older than you, but we grew up watching the same players. And when I think in Bulgaria, I think about Kaziyski, for example. He was my childhood idol. I grew up watching him, and I was so happy when I had just chance to interview him. But at that time in Bulgaria, there was Konstantinov, there was Kaziyski, there was Nikolov Senior.
Yeah.
You had the amazing generation. So could you say you fall in love because of these guys with the sport?
Of course, yeah. Of course, because this was a great example that I could have. The Vlado Nikolov. Even after him, Tsvetan Sokolov, I catch him in the national team. We spent a couple of years playing together, and he's amazing role model. With Kaziyski, unlucky I didn't have the opportunity to work in the national team, but I was following him also after he stopped with the national team in Italy. He's one of the legends in the volleyball, I would say. So for sure, especially the middle blockers. Also, we have quite good history with the middle blockers in the past. Always in the top positions, like Viktor Josifov. I really liked Niki Nikolov, Theodor Todorov, the great middle blockers, which were in their prime, let's say, when I started to play more professional volleyball.
And could you tell me more about training system when it comes to the kids in Bulgaria? What are the key things the coaches focus on junior levels? How you remember going up as a player, training in the junior systems? What was the key things that the philosophy of Bulgarian coaches when it comes to the teaching kids playing volleyball?
This is big question. Nice question. So I would say in the team that I grew up, they were focusing the first 1 year on the base elements, how you pass, how you can set also to be clean and good. And then we were going slowly to the attack, to the approach, to block. So in my opinion, where I was growing up, they spent a lot of time to teach us elements by elements, which was very positive for us. And I would say there is a couple of guys even now in the national team that we grow up together in this club. So this system was working. I can say there is Asparuhov. We grew up together with the same coaches, Martin Atanasov, the other receiver, and even a couple of guys that were a couple of years before last summer. They were again in the national team, so they arrived to high level of volleyball. And I don't know exactly in Bulgaria how is the system and how the coaches are working, because in my opinion we still don't have the best connection between the federation and clubs for the juniors, and some system that can be applied for everybody so the kids grow properly playing volleyball. But I'm really happy and positive. For the last 2 summers I see a huge progress in this, a huge change, that already there is people working to make this connection happen. And I hope in the future that we can even build something like in Poland with the sports school, especially for volleyball. And
so there are no volleyball schools for teenagers in Bulgaria?
There is a sports school. These sports schools are having all the sports. And then there is for example, I'll give Levski and Ceseka, the 2 big names. They have sports schools, but not all the players are going there. And also maybe it's 5-6, half of the team. And it's not working so good. In Poland, I know that you have Spała, yes, the special camp that you have all the team in one class, which I saw when I was 15 years old, and we were playing European World Championship against my age of the juniors, Polish national team. And you can see there Kwolek, Fornal, all these great players that grow up together. So I hope in the close future we can manage to get better in this.
And when you look at your junior career, because I didn't find many individual awards for when it comes to you as a junior player, and did you agree with the fact that you grew up as a player later? I mean, you developed yourself as a later, because when comparing, for example, to Alexander Nikolov, and you look at his junior games, it was like MVP or best and a lot of medals in junior national teams. You are 3 years older than him, but there wasn't so much success on comparing to him. And I was wondering, when was the moment you started feeling ready for professional volleyball?
For the individual awards, it's difficult to compare. First of all, I skipped the last 2 years of the juniors. So in the Bulgarian league with the juniors, I win for I was probably 15 years old, and in the same year I win for the juniors under 15, and then until 18, the two generations, I win Best Middle Blocker Award. And after this, I basically stopped playing for the juniors because I started to play with the men's clubs. And even the first year I started to play, I was like a third middle blocker, but during the year I get the chance to play. I finished the season in like best team of the league, which I was 17 years old. For me, was amazing. And I would say I didn't had this opportunity to play with the juniors all the time to have more individual awards. And about the national team, we were just doing not so good our age. There I had only one individual award with the award was maybe the most beautiful that I get until now in my life, from one tournament for juniors in Russia. But in the World Championships, in European Championships, we didn't make so big progress. We were always out of the top 8. So I was not having a chance to take award. I remember one of the few moments I remember from my junior ages in one of the World Championship. I was keeping the first 3 places all the World Championship, and then I know we arrived like 10 or 12 positions, so it doesn't matter. But after all, in my opinion, these awards are not so important. The most important is to be good part of the team, that you can provide to better the game for your players, for your teammates. And I don't know when I realized that I already play on a high level. I was never thinking maybe now I'm ready or no, because I start from the juniors, I jumped these 2 years, even 3 years maybe with the juniors. I started to play with the men's, then immediately they took me with the national team, and I was always there fighting for spot or even taking the spot and playing. I remember in the next moment I was on the airport already going to Italy. I was 19 years old. My mother asked me there, like, "You're ready to go?" I said, "Yeah, I'll go, I'll try. If it's good, we'll keep pushing. If no, I'll come back." So yeah, maybe the big journey started then. Then I realized that I'm close to the big volleyball, and in the same moment, I'm also far, because I went in Italy like 3rd or 4th middle blocker, fighting for a spot. And then I understand how big is this gap to the professionals, like the really good middle blockers. It's not just physical, all the tactic, all the approach to the game, all the point of view for how the setter is working on the opposite side. So then I realized that the things are getting serious, probably.
But you said interesting thing that you started playing against senior players at the early age. Because, for example, in Poland, even general in football, you see many stories about teenagers playing against senior teams like Yamal, etc., etc. But in volleyball, like for example, in Poland, like there is no many like teenagers that started playing PlusLiga at the age of 16, 17, 18. Like, okay, Kranieczny, Hawryluk, there are like exceptions, but in general, most of these guys plays for like the second level. And in your story, when you now reflect on your career, do you think that this was a big boost for your career? That you started, playing against grown men at the early age, and to make this thing made you like a senior player earlier than your peers?
Of course, yeah. First of all, when you play in the game, you learn a lot faster because there you need to react fast. You don't have 10 practices. You have one game, and if you don't react in couple of points to switch and to start doing better, then you risk next game to be on the bench. So this was a big bonus. Then on the practices with the older players, of course, they're teaching you, they're showing something new that on the juniors you cannot see. You cannot even think about that it's possible to happen. And this is a big boost, of course. And in my opinion, the biggest one is the communication and seeing the lifestyle of the professional players. Because when you're 17, maybe you fall asleep late, maybe you eat bad, maybe today you don't care so much. But then you see the real professional players that they're consistent, they show up on time, they're every time perfect, eating good, sleeping good. Okay, there is some moments that you can go eat McDonald's, of course, it's always like that, but they're consistent in what they're doing. They're not just like the juniors up and down, up and down.
And tell me, you said a little bit about this move to Italy. You are like 19, you're going from Bulgaria to Italy, to the team with like, I think, Birarelli on the team, Aleš Pajek, so like there was like great senior players, and you are just like, still teenager going to a big volleyball. How you remember that time, and what was like your first memories? What was the hardest thing for you to adapt?
It was everything. It was everything. I was really lucky that I catch Nikola Grbić like a coach there.
Yeah, that also the fact that Grbić was your coach.
So this maybe I don't accept so much to be like a bench player or I always go to fight. And to know that I will go like a bench player, and I know it before I signed the contract, was not the best feeling for me. But then I understand that was Nikola Grbić a coach there, and I said, okay, this is the person that can teach you so much about volleyball. And yeah, with him I learned about a lot about the professional volleyball. About the lifestyle, when I move out of Bulgaria, a lot of things. There is a funny story even with my driving license, because I took the driving license 2 days before I fly to Italy. And the day I land in Italy, 2 hours after, they give me the cars, the keys, and they were like, okay, you're ready, you can go home. And I'm like, okay, but this is my first time driving alone, and so I have to learn how to even drive alone in the city. And in Italy, they have some typical Italian style of driving, let's say. So it was big quest. Then, of course, with everything, with the lifestyle, with the cooking, with basically going out of home, everything is new. You have to clean, you have to put the washing machine to, all this stuff were a big change in my life. And I think in the first year I improved a lot like a person, not only like a volleyball player.
And tell me about Coach Grbić, how he was. Of course, he's in Poland well known because he's a national team coach, but years ago, before even you worked with him before he went to Zaksa, before he went to Polish national team, how it was like to work with him, and how is he as a person?
Like a person, to be honest, I really like the time that I spent with him, and of course not like a friendship. I like how he treated the players in this period, how my communication was going with him. Of course, I was 19 years old. I was not going every day to speak with him, and but in my opinion, was maybe the best thing that could happen to me in these 2 years that I spent there.
And how you remember your first games in Serie A? Because, this Serie A is still considered as one of the best league in the world. I remember a story from Rok Mozic. He told me that when he joined Serie A from the Slovenian league, he said, no, I was used to receive serves on like 100 kilometers per hour, 105 kilometers per hour. But then I joined like Serie A. Kaziyski, 120 kilometers per hour. Wilfredo Leon, next game, 130 per hour. And I was like, what was this? And what was the biggest shock for you when you started playing?
There is one situation. It was the pre-season preparation. And we were playing with one Japanese team, but I don't remember the name. And again, I don't remember the name of the player. I think was one Canadian opposite that was playing at this time in Japan, and the team was not full. So I had a chance to have some pre-seasons friendly games. And I remember I was approaching, we were receiving, and the ball just fly over my head, and it made this sound like, and I was, after the point finish, I was like, whoa. How is this serve going so fast? Like, how this guy is hitting so hard? And this was the first time that I was impressed, maybe the first 2-3 weeks of the preparation.
There was any player that, opponent team in Serie A that kicked your ass at the beginning, who was like, welcome to the Serie A moment, who said, oh, young kid, this is a now top level volleyball. Do you have like, do you remember one like opponent?
No, to be honest, I don't remember some moments like that. For sure there was some bad moments for me, but I don't remember it. Maybe some funny moments. I remember that I think it was after I come back to Ravenna. One of the games, the serve was flying strange and like so close to the net that hit me in the chest. I was on the 4 meters and it was not a short serve, so I was like, oh, how this guy surf in the 5 meters in the like jump serve. But no, I think the first 2 years with Verona there, I had a lot of practice time to improve technically, and I had a couple of games after we couldn't make it up to the top 4. In Italy there is this 5th place that they're playing, so I had 2 or 3 games there. But to be honest, they passed quite good. Maybe it was first or second game they leave me play. It was against Vibo Valencia. And with the help of Nikola, for sure, he was talking all the timeouts, most of the time with me about the block and what I have to do. So one of these games I finished with 8 blocks directly. The first or second game they leave me play. And I was so happy about it, and finally you feel that work pays off. But yeah, a lot of funny moments.
And do you have season that right now when you're thinking of, you're feeling that, okay, I grew up as a player the most there? I was thinking about the Ravenna times, because Ravenna was a team well known for when it comes to the developing young players, because at the time you played there was also a young Recine, Lavia, coach Marco Bonita, who was well known because of like playing, like working with young players. So in which season you felt that you make the biggest like improvement? I
have this idea that you can improve every every season from every coach, from every player or person that is in the club. And doesn't matter, you can see something good that you like and you want to take, or you can see something bad that you don't like and you don't want to take. This is also a lesson. You don't have to do it this way. But I can separate it by the years that first two in Verona, I had the time technically to get better and to learn in the practice time how the things are going. So I had some smooth entrance in this professional high-level volleyball. Then I had half season in Belgium, like a medical joker, which was really important switch from just sitting all the time on the bench during the games to go and push and play. I think it was a really positive moment. We win the Belgium league. We had a couple great games with the Champions League with Marseille. Maybe in this moment some of the best games I had against Skra, I remember. We beat Skra 2 times 3-2. So this was important moment also, like a switch from the bench to play. And then of course, from this practice time to the game time that I took in Ravenna for 2 seasons, maybe there I gained more confidence with all the skills that I already learned from the past. So step by step, every moment is more and more important. Then I can say also about Monza, that there I think I grow more like a person also, because I had some hard time stepping into better team, starting to lose this opportunity to be all the time in the court and playing, to be again back on the bench, going in and out. So passing all these steps is helping you to improve mentally, especially. And then I went back to Verona again. It was really important moment mentally for me, because there I was having all the play time again in the game, but dealing with some people in the club was, especially with the work of the coach, I can say, was a little bit more specific, needing more mental concentration, calmness, if I can say, which for the young players is difficult to manage. And then I learn also this part. So slowly, every season is giving me a lot.
In Verona, in your second time, you were coached by Stoychev.
Yeah.
So tell me, from the perspective of Bulgarian player, Bulgarian kid who grew up watching his Bulgarian national team, to the moment that you work with him, how was like? Because everyone say that, okay, Stoychev is quite emotional coach, and he is like sometimes old school type of the coach. But from your perspective, how you remember your time with him?
Yeah, as you said, he's having a little bit more old school type of approaching, more hard to the players, which not for everybody was okay in the team. Also for me, I could say I had honestly some really difficult moments, but maybe I was accepting it a little bit better because of all the Bulgarian old school type of practicing, and I already had some work with this type. So he know volleyball so good, like tactically prepared, also technically on the practices. We were working as a horses, like bam, 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 so much, so hard. So it was good period, I can say again. I took everything so positive, But in some moments, probably more stress was coming to the team and to the players, and we couldn't reach the highest level. But yeah, I'm happy. I could say I'm happy that I passed this school, the old Bulgarian school, that teach me a lot. And then I understand also the communication with the people, the attitude that you can give.
And the fact that you were both Bulgarians was helpful or not?
It was helpful. Okay. The language was helping. Yeah, I would say like this.
And also, I think during this time, Matej came to Verona?
No, Matej was before. In the period that I was in Ravenna, Matej was in Verona. There was also Asparuhov in this period there. And in the moment when both of them moved away, I went.
So you didn't have a chance to play with Matej?
No, never. A couple of times just spoke with him and play against him. To be honest, one of the hardest hits is that I feel on block was Matej. And Wilfredo also.
And tell me, because when I interview Matej, after interview him, there was some comments saying that his legendary career, but there was also some commentators, some words from people in Bulgaria that think, he left the national team, he didn't want to play for national team, he's a traitor even. So how was your approach, the fact that you have one of the best players on the world, but didn't play for your national team? I know it's hard, yeah.
No, it's not hard. It's really simple. It's really simple question. He had his idea, the ideal how the things should happen. In my opinion, he lose a little bit of the emotion playing longer for the national team. But let's say I understand what was his idea to get a better atmosphere, a better quality that is coming from the federation to the team. And in my opinion, a lot of players should understand this and should support it. Because not especially in this moment, in general, when you see how one player is having idea and want to improve also how the one federation is working, but probably it was too much in my opinion, because like this both ways, even the federation, even him as a player, and third side, all the country lose because of this. And in my opinion, a little bit more conversations and understanding from both sides could be at this moment better. But now slowly the things change also in Bulgaria. Now we have better situation. So maybe it was for good. And he sacrificed for the young players, let's say like this.
Yeah, but also I think because of the fact that he didn't play for the national team during the summer, he had such a long career, club career. Because you see how the schedule right now is tight. After the club season, you go straight to the national team season. And I look at him, or for example, Georg Grozer, who also had a break from national team. And because of that, I think also he can still play at such a top level over the 40. Do you agree with that?
Of course. Having 3-4 months free, recovering some injuries, luckily no injuries, just having some mental free time. It's very important, and it's difficult. And I think most of the sports, they have different program. Only volleyball is like this. You cannot have, if you want to be on the highest level in the club and the highest level in the national team, you cannot have more than 1 week free between national team and club. Sometimes it's a couple of days, less than a week. So for sure, for him was helpful.
Recently, I heard an idea of putting like a European or World Championship during the winter, during the club season. Do you think that will be better when it comes to the calendar?
Can be better, yeah. Because like this, you can cut a little bit of the long season. You can mentally switch the environment. Maybe if you are lucky to have a couple of days in home for the preparation camp, and so this is important to switch a little bit from time to time. And then in the summer probably you can have a little bit more free time, which I don't know, for me personally last more than 5 years, maybe 6-7 years, I'm all the time with the national team, then club, national team, club. And I never had, for example, the preparation, pre-season preparation, all the time dealing with some small injuries, some inflammations, that is difficult. And maybe like that, they can separate with longer period to recover in the summer. I hope this is the idea. But then I'm just a player. What I can say, yeah, move this, move that, but they have to decide which is better and think a little bit more for the healthy side of the players.
I remember like Polish players were complaining a lot about 2023 season because there was Olympic qualifiers, VNL Olympic qualifiers and European Championship. 3 big tournaments in one summer. That was like...
Yeah, I remember there was, if I don't make mistake, NGP that was doing in social media like big statement, this is impossible, we have to switch. I agree, especially we play playoffs now here in Poland, everywhere now start the playoffs. And then we finish. If we go to the final, let's say like last season, I'll have 5 days free, then start preparation, have 2 weeks preparation with the national team, and then starting VNL that we have to fly to. We have this summer that is coming, Brazil, then Slovenia, then Chicago. So we have to fly all around the world 3 times. And then the finals, I didn't even follow where are the finals on VNL. So all this traveling is killing the players too.
And I was wondering because before you came to Lublin. You said that you mentioned the fact that you have chance to beat Iskra in Champions League. But how much you know about the PlusLiga and Lublin before you sign a contract?
To be honest, I didn't follow so deep the PlusLiga. I knew that it's really high level. I knew the first 5-6 teams quite good from Champions League for all the European championships. But I didn't know how the sport is popular in Poland. It's so much more than in Italy, for example. You go on the streets and people recognize you, want photos like football star. For me, it's something incredible. And about Lublin, I knew the team because 2 years ago, before I signed in Lublin, I was playing Bogdanka Cup, the friendly tournament.
Yeah.
And then it was first time I met Lublin. So I had some idea, but quite far from everything that was the league.
And what was the hardest thing for you to adapt when it comes to like PlusLiga and like playing in Poland?
I think the hardest part is all the games that they're on TV, which is amazing. Every game is on TV, incredible. And in Italy, it's not like that. You play, or let's say Wednesday or Saturday, Sunday, and they show one game per day on TV. And you have more, consistent program. And when you come to Poland, there is one time you play Tuesday, you play Thursday, you play one time Saturday, then you play Monday, and it's all the time traveling. Don't have consistency in the practice, in the sleep. Sleep for me is the biggest problem.
Why?
Because we travel all night, like 6 hours, 7 hours, and we come in the morning, and then all the sleep program in your body is I'm sorry, it's disturbed. So yeah, this is maybe for me the biggest problem.
And does the level of Polish players in like opponent team surprise you?
Oh yeah, for sure. In Poland you can lose the game against one of the last positions if you're not careful, if you're not concentrated. So there is not so big gap between the teams, and you have to be 100% all the time. We have one example, I think with Helm we play and we lose after we win the Polish Cup. So yeah, this is a moment that you go a little bit down after the cup, and if you're not careful, immediately somebody is coming and just kill you. So the level is really high.
Like the story of Lublin is very impressive for like entire like Polish sport community, because the club was formed, I think, in 2013, and you know, in 12 years later, they won like Polish Championship, they won like a Super Cup, a Challenge Cup, and they signed Wilfredo Leon. So like comparing to other teams you played before, how would you rate like the club as an organization?
What they did in the past to arrive in this point is incredible for such a short time, and you can see how all the city is involved with the sponsors, with the support. It's amazing. My point of view in Lublin, it's really sports city. And they have so many sports on the highest level. And the club is having good organization for sure. It's quite young club, if I can say like that, and always can be better, but yeah, it's good. It's good for all the few time they grow up incredibly. So it's nice. It's nice to be there.
And how did you react when you realized that you will play with Wilfredo Leon?
I think last season actually I told him. I signed 2 months before he signed, and I like the team with all the players. And I was thinking, yeah, we have big potential. We can go in the Final Four. We can fight for this. And then in the next moment, I understand he signed, and I was like, oh, we are fighting for champions. Like, yeah. Then in one moment, one player like him switch immediately the idea for what you can fight and the point of view.
And how it's like to deal with him on daily basis?
He's an incredible person. Incredible. Like I feel him like a big brother, let's say. Because he's all the time careful with people, trying to help whatever need you have. He's trying to be there, trying to help you, teaching you a lot on the court. I learned so much from him about the block, for example. Also giving you the right attitude in practice. In my side, it's all the time motivating me when I see him how he's working, and he's motivating me to push more just by having him next to me in the court.
And the fact you have such a guy in your team, and knowing that most of the middle blockers of the opponent's teams will go to block him, trying to stop him, because they know that most of the games, most of the balls will go to him, makes your job as a middle blocker easier or harder?
Yeah, should be easier for sure. Should be easier because important moments they go to him, and in the team, I think the feeling is like, okay, we know who will take the responsibility for the hard balls. I don't say just him because we have also Kevin, we have all the other receivers that are able to take responsibilities, like everybody. But we know that with him, maybe the job is a little bit easier because he has incredible experience. And yeah, you cannot say that he is not one of the best. In my opinion, maybe the best one.
I was always wondering about like the middle blocker position because you don't spend all the time on the court. The same with libero. Sometimes you come, sometimes you stay in the with reserve players. So how you keep yourself in like steady mode during the game when sometimes you stay on the court just looking at the game and right now, okay, you have to go, you have to do your job, but you don't have like this rhythm like the outside hitters of like opposites or setter that they stay on the court all the time.
If you manage it good, it's bonus because when you're outside, you can see how the team is playing, how your team is playing, and what you can provide more, or how the other team is playing, and how you can adapt to their game. Then in some hard moments when you are nervous, you go out, you can take a breath, and maybe somebody from the teammates who say a joke to you. A lot of times it happens and you like rest a little bit, then you go back full power. So yeah, this is bonus. To be honest, I prefer to stay all the time in the court and to fight all the time. But yeah, this is a bonus in my opinion.
And what made Lublin so good last season that you won like this championship, like the Challenge Cup? Of course, like Wilfredo is one reason, but not the other reasons. Like do you won? So except of him, except of his work, what made this team so great last season?
The work we did for sure, and main reason is the locker room, the atmosphere between the boys, that we feel very good with each other, the positive atmosphere, the positive attitude approaching the games. I think this is it, because in the hard moments we support each other, and then last season, also this seasons, we show so many games 3-2 that we switch the game or we come back in the sets and we win 3-2. And yeah, in one moment last season, I remember because of this, I was feeling so confident that even if it's 2-0 behind, we are in our zone and we can come back. And most of the times we were doing it. We were coming back and taking the game.
And what are the biggest difference when it comes to the coach Botti and coach Antiga? How much do you see many, like how much this club, this team changed since this new coach came?
There is some changes because also the conditional coach is new, but I don't know, to be honest, I'm not good at comparing people and especially coaches. Every coach teach you on something different. I don't know, I cannot compare them. They are different styles of work, but we see both of these styles are working good with results.
Let's talk about the national team. Do you remember your first invitation to the senior national team?
Yeah.
How you felt? Nervous? You were nervous or more happy?
It was in Bulgaria. This period, the cup was, I think, the last championship that you have in the league. After the championship finished, there was the Cup of Bulgaria. I think it was like that. Or just in the middle of the playoffs, but late, really late. And I remember we played and we lose the final of the Cup. But I was sick. I was playing this game with like 38, 39 temperature. I was having stomach problems and some virus, some very bad virus I catch for 3 days in the hotel. I was almost dying. We finished the game. I was playing all the game because the third middle was injured at this period. And after the game, I was completely exhausted. And I remember it was not the coach. Somebody else come to me and say, the coach was watching this game. He invite you, like you will be with the team this summer. And I was like, I have to get better soon, like physically with the virus and everything. How I have to be good to be able to push. But I was really nervous when I joined the team. I was so nervous with all the old players because I was watching them on TV only. And I think in one moment I was with Sokolov in a room, my first year with the national team, and I was so shy all the time. I almost didn't speak, and yeah, it was amazing all the time to be with these great players. But yeah, I was shy.
Who was your mentor, help you, when it comes to first steps in national team? It was Sokolov or somebody else?
Yeah, probably Sokolov. At this period, I was speaking a lot with him. There was Theodor Sauparov that was taking good care of the young players to introduce them in the team. There was also Viktor Josifov that was really positive with me, showing me, teaching me some stuff for the blog. Every time I was responding when I asked why you do this or what I have to do in this situation. So maybe these three guys, but mostly with Sokolov because we were also in the room. Then lately, two years later, I found also Bojan Jordanov. He is from the generation of Vlado Nikolov, a lefty opposite. I don't know if you remember him. Maybe no. He was with Vlado Nikolov most of the time, was second. So I met with him, and just the vibe with speaking with him, spending time with him was really positive, and now he's my best friend. That's like a role model and mentor. He gave me a lot also to think what is good to do, what is not good, giving me advices. And he have incredible experience because now he's 43, sorry. He's 43 and still playing in Greece. Okay, the second division, but he's still playing. And yeah, maybe Sokolov and Jordanov were the mentors that I had. We
talked at the beginning about this great generation that won the bronze medals. But even in the last decade, there was many tournaments that Bulgaria finished at the 4th place. I think European Championships, World League at the 4th place. So many 4th places. But what we see right now in recent years in national team, the rise of this national team. When I look at the squad from the last World Championship, you were the 3rd oldest player in the team. I think it was Atanasov and Petkov, I think 1996. My birth year. So that means, now I am veteran. I could be a veteran. But okay, you told that you have a chance to play with the guys like Sokolov, the older ones. And now you are the older one for this younger generation, with Simeon, Nikolov. And do you feel difference when it comes to the mindset? Okay, they are you are not in the same generation.
No, well, I don't feel so big difference. Maybe before was when I was the young one in the team, there was a big difference because all the players were playing outside and they already had their high point in career or reaching just this high point. So they had different stuff in their head. They were at different level of their life. And now, yeah, there is difference between the Moni Nikolov, he's 19, 20, and Martin Atanasov, for example, that is the oldest one. The oldest one.
Yeah.
You don't have 30 years old, but yeah, the oldest one. Yeah. But it's not so big difference. I would like to say the jokes, the lifestyle. It's like we catch up together. In my opinion, we had the most important part of our preparation was that we managed to start spending more time together, like all the team out of the camp. And a couple of times we went out for a dinner, and it was all the 14, 15 players, which it's difficult to organize and everybody to accept to come and to spend good time. So I don't think there is such a big gap between the ages.